Can we just talk about my favorite plant in the world, especially in the region that I live in right now? Some people like to call this an invasive species, a pest, a nuisance. But let me tell you what the ladybug's perspective is on this. The ladybugs know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Do you know anything about ladybugs? These tiny little beautiful beetles. See them right in here? Look at. Can't see them here. Let me move them around. Oops. I just flicked him onto the ground. The ants know too. I apologize. The ants know. Colonize that sucker. See, they have a relationship. See all those eggs? You may not be able to notice these things. But if you actually pay close attention, there's eggs on the bottom of all of these different leaves. Not leaves, the stems, excuse me. Pardon my parlance here. They have a relationship with this beautiful treasure of the earth. This is the water hemlock. Should pause, start there. Card's gonna come. It's gonna interrupt my story. But this is the water hemlock, the most wonderful plant that nearly has ever been. Stand fast. Humans are approaching. Water hemlock. Water hemlock is an incredibly potent medicinal plant. I'm gonna show you my other second favorite medicinal plant. On my recent show on the confessionals with Tony, the plants were never brought into picture or frame, so you guys didn't see what it was I was referencing. I called it the Mariposa. That's what I personally called it. In the Southwest, I grew up among Spaniards, Navajo, and Apache. They all had different names for these plants, but colloquially, it was referred to as the Mariposa. It is called the mimosa tree. That one's used for emotional healing of trauma. Incredibly beneficial for lifting mood, a mood stabilizer. Get off the stinking poison sorcery crap they're putting you on. They're demons, telling you inside the pills. Sounds crazy, but it splits the veil and it invites them in to cohabitate with you. You don't need their death drugs. For what it's worth, my personal opinion and convictions, I found what they do to rot the soul, physical body, mind, will, emotions. They're just toxic. This is toxic to some things, but to other things, it's literally their source of sustenance in life. Like these ants, like all of the creatures that are literally going to be born on death. So lovely. It's a kissable plant. Not for you. Most of you who are watching this today should never touch this plant. Like, sincerely, not with your bare hands. You don't have an immunity to it. But I have worked up a systematic desensitization in my relationship with this plant over the years because I utilized it for effective means of not so silent killing. Sometimes you need to put a predator down, like all the way down, instantly down. And there's certain weapons that are deployable. See, look at, there he is. He's back. Isn't it so cute? Little ladybug. Someone else is coming. Now, these little guys understand this is a plant where they can go and harvest their delicious life off of. You know, like this guy. This beetle, he's eating the little bugs that are occupying this territory, in this dominion, in this space. Stand fast. He's occupying the same territory in this given space right here because there's little bugs that are living all over this thing that you and I can't really see, mostly aphids. Aphids are a sign that a plant is in moderate distress. Basically, it's weakish and not so healthy. That's why you have ladybugs showing up in your garden. If you're trying to raise a garden and you're getting ladybugs all over the place, that's because you have plants that are sick, sincerely. The ladybugs are not the problem, just like bacteria is not what's causing you to be sick. Bacteria is present in your body because there is something else toxic that's happening in your body that's causing death to your cells. The bacteria is present to digest that, to break it down. That's what they do. It's like fungus. Fungus doesn't show up where things are healthy and vibrant and alive. Fungus shows up to digest that which needs to be recycled. That's why these forests exist. These forests would not exist if there was not death, decay. They're serving an amazing job. They're converting it into a new material. They're amazing recycling units. We pale, like people are trying to convince you that we need to save the world through recycling, and they cannot recycle whatsoever anything close to the efficiency of this one. He's gonna be loud. I like this guy. Homies. Yeah. Living dangerously, son. Get him. Get him. Now, this plant is a wonderful host of much life that exists in the reality of time and space. And because of that, he tells us all kinds of secrets. Like the bugs that are showing up in your garden are telling you secrets. You just got to learn their language. We're all deaf, dumb, and stupid, raised by absolute imbecilic propagandists known as serpent eaters. Guys that need this plant in their bellies. People that knew the truth and decided to deceive instead and beguile because they're cowards who don't want to actually face proper opponents in opposition. Like if you're a real tough guy, you'd raise up the best possible enemies on the face of the earth to contend with, just to see if you got the real balls to battle it out. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind if some of you are offended. It's good for you. They're anatomical structures that men should have. And most of us have been chemically castrated and neutered by the poison of food, medicine, and sports. Stripped your entire testicular fortitude away. But cold water will cleanse you in a minute. Boost your testosterone. You don't need to get on any of this crap that everyone's trying to sell you on TikTok. You guys, you know what you need? You need living water. It's super simple. It's called baptism. It's called immersion. Super biblical. Anyways, there's a book on that. It's well worth your time and your reading called My Water Cure. Oh, there's a lot of humans around right now. It's awkward. That's why I like to go out at night. Now, My Water Cure will help you to understand how water is such a medicine that can actually heal you and restore you and strengthen your physical resolve and dissolve toxins that are contained in your system and allow you the ability to heal, because your body was designed by a perfect creator, Yahweh Elohim Sebaoth, the Lord God Almighty, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know, the actual one that loves you and cares about every single creature, including these beautiful little fastidious ants that are just working diligently day by day. Now, if you can learn the lessons that they will teach you, they'll show you why they're there. Beetles are there because your plants are really pretty stinking sick. Aphids are there because your plants are they're obnoxiously sick. They're outrageously, exceedingly ill. Okay? If your plants are only being predated upon by deer or grasshoppers, that's the healthiest plants that exist. Deer eat the healthiest stuff. That's why deer meat is incredibly beneficial for your body when it's wild. They eat the best of the best of the best. They don't eat sick plants. They really don't. They will if they have to, but they love to eat the healthiest plants among us. Same with grasshoppers. That's why it's the only insect that Yahweh said that is food for you. You can eat grasshoppers, locusts, because they eat the healthiest plants around. If you have a plague of grasshoppers going through your property, it's because those plants are actually prodigiously healthy. If you have aphids, it's because your plants are sick and are literally only surviving on IV fluid. And so when you eat plants that are that level sick, you're going to have trauma, son. You're going to have problems because now that is not contributing to the benefits of your life. That's why when people eat certain diets, they still get horribly sick, because the vast majority of the food that they have available to them in their repertoire is abysmal. It's abysmal. So eat the best you possibly can. You'd be shocked how much better you feel. Like, I'd rather just eat wild caught canned fish that's packed in sea salt and water or extra virgin olive oil than almost anything else that I can find at a gas station or a store when I'm traveling like I am right now. I'm on a big cross-country trip. So because of that, you got to be precise, careful. Like, I drive hundreds of miles to go get eggs. It sounds ridiculous to some of you, but I would rather support a farmer, an individual, beautiful person who is laboring to pasture raise their chickens and their cows, rotationally grazing, biodivergence, it's multi-species grazing, heavy, high-intensity stalking grazing. But that's rare. Hopefully some of you are watching this will be inspired to go out and do likewise. Something I've done, but not something it's not my main vein now. But if you would do that and support the people that do that, man, we can actually weaponize a war against these cowards. So, back to the hemlock. Just tuck that away. I live on pasture-raised eggs prodigiously. I'm on a more modified keto diet. Just needed to detox some death that was in my soul. It's good for me. But choose wisely. Eat the best that you can. But I can go to even a random Walmart. I can get kipper, smoked fish, like herring. It's so good. It's so good. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? I love to eat prodigious quantities of fruits and vegetables when I'm in areas where they're grown and they're ripe and they're in season. But when I'm not, I got to find other ways to do it. Oh, my gosh. It's people and their daggum holidays. You know what I'm saying? What the heck? 4th of July is not about what they tell you it's about. I'm just saying, I'm not against people celebrating wonderful things. There's wonderful character aspects about our country that are beautiful. They just don't understand the reason it's on this day is because the dog star rising over the womb of Isis, it's being inseminated by the obelisk of Osiris and Ra. So you're all out there like cheering as fireworks are inseminating the sky, the womb of Isis. That's what it's all about, guys. Just another ritual that they do to recharge their iniquity force on the earth. I digress. There's a lot of meat in there for somebody to chew on. Water hemlock. The way this plant works in the human body is to cause catastrophic, unimaginable amounts of ongoing suffering. It's it. You put this plant in you in an inappropriate dosage, and it will 100%, most certainly, fatally kill you dead, son. You're not going to live again until you are brought before the white throne for judgment, and your fate will be either vindicated and delivered by the blood of the Lamb, Yeshua Mashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. If he speaks your name to the Father, you live. That's your great high priest. He will atone for you, and he will absolutely save you so that you can live again. That's the second death. If you are spared from the second death, you live forever. You are given incorruptible immortality. Certainly. You'll never sin again. The angels don't have that. That's why we'll still judge angels in the kingdom to come. The immortals. We'll still judge them because they can still sin. They can still transgress. Whereas we, in our glorified bodies, will be incapable of sinning. Fundamentals. But those whose names are blotted out of the book of life, those whose names who chose to give into the culture of convenience instead of abdicating this life, give up your life, lay down your life so that others might live. Those of you that cling to your life, try to save your life in this life, you'll lose your life in the age to come. Something to consider. This plant attacks the body, in particular, those systems of the body that are used for regulating what goes in you and out of you, toxins, kidneys, liver, that kind of critical information areas of your body. And it'll also cause unimaginable amounts of muscle contractions and releasing. So it causes just agonizing, excruciating, unstoppable amounts of pain. It's a very slow way to torturously kill a predator, if ever you should need to do that. Some of you have sheep and flocks that you need to guard from predators, you know, the things that stalk in the darkness and predate upon people's lack of understanding about basic realities of mankind. Shepherds, those guys' job. A shepherd should always carry poisons and cures on their person, because when you got to deal with a very malicious wolf, this is one that you turn to when you want to send a message to the rest of the pack, you know, and you're like, that's not a good idea. Don't come near this flock ever again. This is the one that you do that with. You can just make a basic extract of it. The toxic components are contained therein of almost every part of the plant. The way that you can identify it, this is helpful. See, look at them. They're just colonizing it. You can live on these things. I love it. But the way that you can identify this guy, that's really helpful. Let's see if we can get him to focus. Is because he kind of can look like wild carrots. And this is what gets people in trouble. You know, you see those little purple dots on him? He's smooth, like a woman who shaves her legs. You don't need to do that. It's just liars, dadgummit propagandists that told you shouldn't have body hair. Big gonkers. Spit on that nonsense propaganda. You know what I'm saying? Righteous women are pure. Just saying. Something to consider. You don't have to do none of that. I get it if you like to, whatever. But it's damaging to your physical body, the temple that you were entrusted and given by the Creator. Don't do that. God. Anyways, it's destructive to your body. It's destructive to your body. It's something you should consider to reprieve yourself from. I'm going to have to get out of here. It's too much healing. Right here next to it, another medicinal plant that's a cure, jewelweed. That's for bug bites, bee stings, any kind of problems, ailments, jewelweed. Doesn't taste good. It's going to be super bitter and make me want to puke. It's a topical medicine most exclusively. But she's got no legs on her. She's got no hair on her legs. Get what I'm saying? She's that kind of woman. She's got purple dots all over her. And then down here in her base, let's see if I can get it out. This is probably pretty loose soil. I know I'm going to kill this guy. I'm sorry. It's for a good reason. Now, there's many more around here. This is what people will harvest and eat when they misidentify it as wild carrot. That has a similar flower. Most of these flowers have turned to seeds. It looks like a white flower that you'll find with them. Now, don't ever do what I'm doing without gloves on if you're a normal human. Get what I'm saying? If you've not had a ministering relationship with this plant, don't touch it like I'm doing it. That's your caution. I gave you a warning. Figure it out. Now, that giant root, you see that system on there? Oh, I just love this plant. I could cry that I'm holding it again. Now, That is what people will mistakenly identify with wild carrot, and this will kill them. Even with extreme forms of medical help, it can be survived. It has happened. Activated charcoal, fundamentals. Always carry it on your person. Remember, if you're going to carry a poison, you should carry the reversal. Now, activated charcoal is your weapon, son. Diatomaceous earth is your weapon. Bentonite clay is your weapon. Don't ever forget them. I carry little pouches on my person all the time, filled with medicines. Only medicines. Now, it's really, really easy to get this wrong, and it doesn't even taste bad. Its taste is persuasive enough to convince you that maybe you just ate a carrot. You get what I'm saying? So if you eat this like I just been eating carrots on this whole drive down, and this drive that I'm taking, if someone had slipped one of these in there, you know, looked like all the other carrots in the bag, whoops. That's all it takes. Just basic tradecraft. Now, you can make a stir fry. Big pot of stew. How did Elijah heal the people after a man went out wild foraging for cucumbers, they say? Gourds. It's plants. Guy went out into the woods, foraged some food. They threw it in a pot. They cooked it. After they cooked it, everyone started getting sick. As they were eating it, everyone started getting sick. As they were getting sick, they cried out, "Oh, man of Elohim, there's death in the pot!" Oh. Elisha, prophet, full of the Ruach HaKodesh, Holy Spirit. He's like, grind up some fresh milled barley. Throw it in there. Boop. Cure. So you see, this is why fresh milled flour, becoming a Milanite, that's a thing. We're about it, because it gets toxins out of your body, because you're dying, because you're eating dead bread. So grind your own grain. We're natural fibers. Just use the systems God gave you. Just read the Bible. It's shockingly right there in front of your face. Just disregarded it. Now, this guy is so good because all of that incredibly deadly, toxic stuff to us is also food for many other things. So something to consider. There's certain creatures that exist in life that can eat this and not die. Ponder on that, chew on that, study that. Why are those animals the way they are? What makes them different? What makes anything able to eat death and live? It's a peculiarity, something to investigate. But any part of this, you can grind it up from the leaves to the seeds, to the stems, to the tubers. Grind it up. You dry it out if you want. It's best, I like to make tinctures. I like to make tinctures or extracts or oils out of fresh material if I can. Then other times, if you can't do that, you just dry it out, hang dry him. And then after he's dry, you powder it up, and then you make a reduction. Just like you're making a sauce for a nice little soup or a nice little creme brulee. Who doesn't love creme brulee? Cheesecakes, that kind of stuff. Just drizzle it right on top. A raspberry reduction, one of my favorites. Anyways, I grew up with a chef. Amazing, amazing culinary artist. I'll just say that. I'll bless you, my mother, and just say, you cooked great meals for me. You got way better. You started out terrible, but I loved every meal you ever fed me. Thank you. May Yahweh bless you, and I pray he heals you and brings you deliverance, and that you would be able to tell your testimony with boldness and get away from the serpent eaters that you're surrounded with. I'm sorry for what you've endured, and I forgive you. Now, you can take a reduction, turn it into whatever kind of a tonic that you need, but this is what I would coat darts with. Full disclosure. I like to coat darts with these, little darts, not anything elaborate, soda straws. You can just prepackage soda straws. You know, when you've got to kill a raccoon. So I love raccoons. I've got friends that are raccoons right now at my side, out in my yard. But sometimes they try to kill my chickens. Then I go after them with absolute violence and stab them in their skull. I love creatures. I don't want to kill anything that's not nasty and a predator. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you cross the line and you come after the things I love, I'm going to rip your throat out. And I had to teach those raccoons a lesson. You know, it's like, just leave them on the tree with a knife in their skull. It sends a good message. But this great delivery system is just soda straws. And then toothpicks with a little cotton on the back of them. And you dip them in that little oil, especially if you get a good resin going on it. You dip them in that. And then you can carry that on your person. And nobody has a clue. They're like, what the heck? Can't believe I'm saying this out loud. They don't know. And you can make it anywhere you go. So you can use any form of delivery system. It's only limited by the creativity of your mind. You know, someone's nicotine pouch that you feed to a bear. Of course, talking only about furry animals things. The two-leg predator stuff, you can just use dust too. You can make it into a very fine powdered dust. Just puff that into the air. That kind of stuff. But you want to be really careful with this, because once it's concentrated down, that's not to be touched. That's not to be ingested. Even a little nick will do you. A little tiny nick will do you, you know, or you can use the little grooves in your blades, the grooves into the end of a little needle, sewing needle, anything like that. And you can just impregnate it. And then you can create a mixture of beeswax, honey, and candied sugar to seal that off so that you don't accidentally brush against it. But then the full of your knife has something contained therein that is ready for use. So put it on the end of your spear, so when you're going out through the woods and you run into those pesky packs of dogs, now you've got options. Anyways, y'all, I just thought I'd take you on an adventure. I'll go show you my other buddy that's down here, my mimosa plant, which is good for healing. I guess that's all. I don't have some witty remark. I hope each and every one of you will live dangerously every single day of your life, because the days may be evil, but you, just like this hemlock, were born for such a time as this. I love you all so much. Happy hunting. Yahweh will be with you. May you hunt the souls of men with the gospel of deliverance and salvation to every creature. I love each and every one of you, even my enemies. Yahweh loves you too. You just need to repent, confess all your sins, that you might be saved. Live dangerously.